Hi, everyone. I am Jeannie Walters from Experience Investigators, and this is another webinar to help you lead as a CX leader. Now, today we're talking about how you can be a change agent on behalf of your customers, even if customer experience is not in your title or your job description. Now, we're doing this right now. We're recording during Customer Service Week. And earlier this week was CX Day, Customer Experience Day. And that really inspired a lot of conversation around this. A lot of people reached out and said, it's not in my title. I'm not officially a leader, but I want to do something. I care about this. This is for you and anybody else who might have CX in your title as well. So let's go ahead and get started about how you can be a change agent in your organization. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jeannie Walters. I am founder and CEO of Experience Investigators. We are a firm that helps leaders like you provide meaningful experiences for customers, intentional, positive, proactive customer journeys. And we do that through coaching, consulting, as well as keynote speaking, workshops, training, you name it. We are here as a resource for you because we want to deliver business results based on those meaningful experiences. So today when we talk about what does a CX professional do, the list can get pretty long. Often when I talk to leaders who are head of customer insights or customer experience officers or chief customer officers, all the different things that they do, they all start from a place of change. They all say to me, well, this is what I need to do in order to move forward. We need to revamp how we look at teams here. We need to look at what we do with the insights that we gather from our customers. We need to get everybody in this organization on board with the idea of our customer experience mission. All of these people have something in common, and that's that they are change agents. They are trying to make real change from inside their organization on behalf of their customers outside of their organization. And so when you hear this, I hope you realize that you are a change agent too. Now, there are a couple of things that you can do that are a little bit of baby steps to help make change in your organization. It can be hard to change an entire process, an entire organization from the inside out. So, my hope today is that you walk away with some real action that you can take in order to make positive change where you are. So, there are four ways we're going to talk about. First, of course, take a walk in your customer's shoes. Easier said than done, I know. We want to check out the competitors, and I'll explain why and exactly what to do here. We want to keep our finger on the pulse of social media, user reviews, and customer questions. There is so much access to this in today's world, and sometimes we don't always take advantage of that. And then finally, we want to train and communicate with as many teams and leaders in our organization as we can. We want to socialize this idea of customer experience, make sure we get more leaders and more teams on board with the goals that we have. So, the first one, take a walk in your customer's shoes. Now, you've heard this before. You might be thinking, yes, I've done that. That's why I worry about it. When we look at how to walk in our customer's shoes, that's what I want you to really think about. Sometimes we paint this over. We use process maps inside our organization and we look at them and we think, well, that must be what's happening. We often do things like look at our systems. Are they working correctly from the inside? If we don't see any bugs, anything going wrong, we might think, well, that's working for the customers. But what we want to do is think about our customers' real lives, the real experiences that they're having with our brand at every step along their journey. Now, there are a variety of ways to do this. You may have heard me and others talk about journey mapping and the power of that as a tool. You can do this by simply calling your numbers, by actually ordering something of one of your products and seeing what that delivery process is like. You can absolutely do a variety of things to really understand and walk in your customer's shoes. Once you identify some of those most challenging spots, that's a great place to start because maybe you don't have the budget or the buy in to do an entire journey map. But if you come to your leaders, if you say, I've identified a real challenge that we can fix, and you start with that and you explain what it's actually doing to customers. If a customer is relying on a product for something in their life, You want to explain that the late product isn't just a delay. It means that our customer can't do something. Maybe they can't go somewhere. Maybe they can't achieve something. We really want to talk about their real lives in these situations to get that buy in, to get people to really understand that we need to make change inside our organization on behalf of our customers on the outside. We also want to check out the competitors. Now, the reason I recommend this is because expectations are set right now by your competitors, by the competitive landscape. And what I mean by that is customers are often shopping around all the time. They are looking for what are those advantages of working with your competitors? What are the features that they offer? Do they have faster shipping? Do they offer maybe more hand holding in a B2B experience? Do they offer more ways to pay? All of those different things can show up as gaps in the experience that a customer has with your brand. So you want to make sure that you're always looking at things from that customer's perspective and thinking, if they were shopping around right now, what are some of the places that we would be behind in our customer experience? And you want to really identify those gaps. You also want to identify what are you doing better than your competitors? It gives you a way to talk to your customers about the features and benefits in a way that is real life for them. So instead of just saying, this is something we offer, you can say, we're the only ones who offer this. That makes a big difference. So make sure when you're looking at your competitors, you're not doing this from a how do we take them down perspective. This is about your customers. This is about understanding what are the expectations that are being set simply when they're looking around and shopping. If you can come up with a gap analysis here, that's a great way to make change in your organization as well. By showing other leaders in your organization, this is what customers get in the landscape. This is what we don't offer. This is what I think we can do to offer something even above and beyond what's out there in the market today. Makes a big difference to getting everybody on board to understand that customer experience has an impact on your business results. It's not just talk, this is about action. We also want to keep our finger on the pulse of what customers are saying in all of these different places. Some of you might have customer communities. Some of you might just look at social media. You want to look at user reviews. You also want to pay attention to what customers are actually asking. So if you have a contact center or frontline folks who are interacting with customers, you want to make sure that they have a way to share what are these questions that customers are bringing to you, because what that tells you is it's a place of insecurity for the customer. It's a place they need reassurance. It's a place they can't find the answer on their own. And so all of those things can be addressed earlier in the customer journey to make change for your customers. So, as you look at your customer questions, as you look at your social media and your user reviews, you really want to identify the emotional connections that customers are discussing. So, this is both the bad and the good. This is the times when they tell you about how frustrated they are. Really look at those. Ask yourself, are there things we can fix proactively here so they never would have gotten here in the first place? You also want to pay attention to the folks who praise you, who say this was fantastic. If they highlight an employee, you want to go back to that employee, you want to find out what they did, and then hopefully make that a best practice throughout your organization. So, all of this is about really understanding the real experience that your customers are having with your brand, and then bringing that up to the surface so that you can talk to your leaders about what you can do next. And then finally, you want to train and communicate. You want to preach this from the highest mountain in your organization. You want to carry this out throughout your organization. So, if you are the change agent who's talking about this, if you have ways that you want others to participate in maybe these types of steps, maybe bigger steps like journey mapping, you want to get folks involved by building and socializing these ideas throughout your organization. So that means that working with a variety of teams, looking to other leaders, making sure that every single team eventually in your organization really understands what customer experience is so that you're speaking the same language. How you define success is super important here. And then what they can do. What can each team do to make things better for the customer? Because sometimes what happens in customer experience is we talk about this in such grandiose ways that leaders of teams think, well, we're not really a part of that. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing and then hope that customer experience changes somehow. If you're a change agent in your organization, which I know you are because you're here, go ahead and start reaching out to different leaders, start building those coalitions, and talk to them about if we want these goals, how can we all work together to get there? How can we take small steps to get through this journey and make sure that we're delivering better experiences for our customers? It's so important. And the more that you can build those coalitions and train people on the language of customer experience, the more you'll see that reflecting back onto the organization. So, if you are a change agent, and I know you are, these are 4 ideas for you. Now, there are a lot of other things you can do, but if you're not sure where to start, I hope this inspires you to take some action. The first, walk in your customer's shoes however you can and identify those pain points that you can share with other leaders, that you can really identify as ways to fix. You want to check out the competitors, but from that customer's perspective. Where are the gaps in what is being offered? How are they setting expectations for your customers now and into the future? You want to keep your finger on the pulse of social media, user reviews, customer questions, anywhere that customers are sharing about their experiences proactively. You have access to those. Make sure you're actually paying attention on a regular basis. And then again, identifying what actually happened and how could we fix it and prevent it from happening to other customers. And then you want to talk about this, you want to train about this, you want to communicate about this with leaders and teams throughout your organization. It is absolutely imperative that we work together. We build these coalitions because one change agent can make small things happen. But if you get other leaders involved, that's where real change happens. That's where improvement happens on behalf of your customers. Now, I just want to end here by saying you are making a difference. The fact that you're watching this, the fact that you're here looking for things about customer experience, that tells me that you're already a change agent in your organization. And so be careful about getting frustrated. This sometimes takes time. Sometimes we need to take those baby steps and get that buy in and take another baby step and get more buy in order to really move things forward. So acknowledge what you can and can't do with realistic expectations. Build relationships with other leaders so you can make that bigger impact and understand that baby steps lead to big things. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So if you haven't tried any of these things, I really encourage you to try something to get that momentum, to try to get action, to build those coalitions and get buy-in so you can make a bigger impact later. So, what are you doing right now to make your CX meaningful? That's what I would love to know. So, let us know in the comments, let us know on social media, and you can find me in all these different places. We have tons of resources for you. Some of the things that might help actually are our journey mapping template. We have a goal worksheet. We have something called SMIRC goals, which might help you stay realistic about the goals that you have. And then we also have a CX charter guidebook. And that's something to help you think about how do you build this team and what does the team do once you get leadership buy in? But you know what? You can sign up for all of those things at yearofcx.com. That's where you can get free downloadable resources and you can find all sorts of things to help you become the CX leader that I know you can be. So thanks so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of our community. And we hope to see you again at another Experience Investigators webinar. Now, the mission of my company is to create fewer ruined days for customers. And the fact that you're here with me, you're helping me live that mission. So thank you and go out and be a change agent. Thanks.